one of the things that I hear over and over again is there's not a lot of edge necessarily in having a better vol surface model. There's certainly negative alpha in having a really bad model, but having a much better model doesn't necessarily give you a positive edge. Curious as to your take, like how much edge can be found in having a better technology stack than your competitors and being able to get better real-time updates or better insight into the risk that you're running?
I think the way to think about it is, so first of all, it depends on, on what your business model is and what your strategies are, right? So there are if you're a market maker, the only thing that matters is having a really, really, really good vol surface, never being wrong and being incredibly fast and being, really good at differentiating flow types and thinking about how to hedge and so forth, right? If you are a lower frequency buy side strategy person who is thinking about dislocations in the market, where they come from, what the end user flows are, how they're creating opportunities, how to structure trades and so forth, right? It's a very different set of problems you're working with. You need to have really good execution technology to minimize transaction costs and so forth, but your sensitivity to a little wiggle someplace in the vol surface is lower, right? Because if you're a market maker that has a little wiggle someplace in the vol surface, you're going to be trading with Citadel securities all day, and they're going to be, in every trade you're going to be losing money on, right? In the case of someone like us, right, the important thing is there's no, people like us don't make money because we know this one formula that's this really secret formula, and we figured it out and nobody else knows, and if they knew, it would be really bad, and we go out and we see the thing that's too cheap and we buy it, right? It's a whole back to front process of understanding, from a starting point, what types of dislocations there are in the market in the areas that we focus on, that we're good at thinking about, and how to track those and how to measure those and how to do the historical research around those and how to structure trades around those, and then how to actually execute and implement those trades, how to control the risk, how to put a bunch of strategies together, right? And it's the quality of every step of that process and being reasonably good at every step of that process that's important, right? So for example, if you have a lot of those things as part of your process, but by the way, you don't have particularly good execution, you just call a broker to shop around the orders, then you're not going to have a firm that works, right? Because you're going to be paying a bunch of spread on all of these trades, and your returns are going to be terrible in this environment. Because in the old days, actually, you could call a broker and they could comp out some guys and they could get it done, and that used to work. Now, being a liquidity taker doesn't really work. You need to be able to work into positions and out of positions in a really efficient way, right? But same thing with, if your research infrastructure is really terrible and you're not good at, you have this idea of what the opportunities are, but you can't really measure it. You can't really test things historically. You can't really understand how to hedge it. You don't understand, all these kind of things. So again, every piece of that puzzle needs to be reasonably good.